intensity, toughness, rage. He was an Olympic gold medalist, World Cup of Hockey winner, and two-time Stanley Cup champion. He was a player who was depended on to lead his team, always battling, always defending, always protecting. He was a player who you knew would give 100%, grinding his opponents down shift after shift after shift. One of the most effective defensive defensemen to ever grace the game of hockey. Standing at 6'2", 220 pounds, he's got that forearm and he's not afraid to use it. Number 52, Adam Foote.
Foote out there, another hit by Foote, another hit by Foote, he knocked it down!
Adam Foote was born on July 10, 1971 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. His passion and obsession with the sport of hockey began at a very young age. Growing up in a country where hockey is not just a sport but a way of life, he was introduced to the game by his father, a police officer who recognized his talent early on and instilled in him the values of discipline, perseverance, and hard work, qualities that would later define his game. Foote would spend countless hours practicing his skating, shooting, and puck handling skills on frozen ponds and local rinks, and before long, he would hone his skills and climb the ranks as he would play for his local team in Whitby at the age of 17, before joining the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, a team that was known for producing top-rated talent. During his time with the Greyhounds, Foote's potential as a rugged, dependable defenseman began to emerge. His physical style of play and leadership set him apart from his peers, and as he developed his defensive skills and perfected his ability to read the game, NHL scouts started to take notice of the young prospect, and in the 1989 NHL entry draft, Foote would be selected 22nd overall by the Quebec Nordiques. Foote would go on to make his debut in the 1991-92 season, and even though the Nordiques would finish dead last in the Eastern Conference that year, Foote would prove to be a quick study as he'd help the team improve to 104 points, a 52-point improvement in the very next year. The Nordiques would relocate to become the Colorado Avalanche in 1995, and Foote would continue to improve as he would serve as the defensive anchor on the blue line. He was intense, as his presence alone was enough to make his opponents tremble in fear. He had incredible positional awareness, as he often put himself between puck and net. If you wanted the lane to the crease, you'd have to go through him, and with that forearm jab, you ain't going through him. He was flat out tough to play against, as his defense was not only about containing you, but just like a real Avalanche, his defense was suffocating, as when he's on the ice, you'd barely have any time to breathe, and you know you're in for a punishing battle. Perhaps most importantly though, his willingness to sacrifice his body was second to none. Time and time again, he would serve as the enforcer, the protector, the guardian for his star players. My two absolute favorite moments of Adam Foote both revolve around him protecting his teammates. The first was in the 1996 World Cup when the Americans played Gretzky a little too tightly. Wasn't a hit, barely even touched him, but in comes Foote, and look at that gaze as he just wanted to gently remind them that he was there. Don't try anything stupid. The second example was when Bob Probert was targeting Forsberg. Foote, without even a moment of hesitation, was already at the scene within milliseconds, putting his body on the line to answer the call. And it didn't take long for the league to take notice, as the Avalanche were ready to steamroll anything in its path. In the 1996 playoffs, Foote continued to play those hard minutes as he was determined to block the shot, clear the crease, and shut down the opposing star players. His defensive acumen and leadership would prove effective against the other team's top lines, and the Colorado Avalanche would go on to win the Stanley Cup that year. And with Adam Foote as the valiant defensive pivot that he was, the Avs would become a perennial Stanley Cup contender. In 2001, Adam Foote and the Avalanche captured their second Stanley Cup, further solidifying his legacy as one of the franchise's all-time greats. And even though his offensive game never really took off, he was an absolute menace to play against, and his contributions to the team extended far beyond statistics. Make no mistake, Even with the additions of legendary players like Rob Blake and Ray Bourque, Adam Foote was still the heart and soul of the Avalanche defense. In the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City, Foote helped Team Canada win their first gold medal in 50 years, and just 2 years later in 2004, he'd win the World Cup of Hockey with Team Canada. They say you win games with offense, but you win championships with defense. Adam Foote had become the living proof of that saying. As the lockout of 04-05 came and went, also gone were the days of powerhouse teams that had superstar after superstar. The salary cap was introduced, and Foote, who had been with the franchise for the past 13 years, was not offered a contract as a result. He'd go on to sign a 3-year contract as an unrestricted free agent with the Columbus Blue Jackets, a new franchise at the time, as he was quickly entrusted into a leadership role there, providing stability both on the blue line and also in the locker room. During the final year of his contract in Columbus, the team was determined to make a late playoff push as they were hovering around that cutoff line. But as the trade deadline approached, Foote would be dealt back to the Colorado Avalanche as they were looking to bring the old team back for one last hurrah. And just look at what the Blue Jackets got in return for Adam Foote. A first and a 4th round pick. Not bad for a 37-year-old. And this is where it gets interesting. Columbus fans are still upset that he quit on the team as they were getting ready for a playoff push. Their narrative was that Foote demanded a trade, the evidence being a private jet just so happened to be ready to take him to join his new teammates that very same day. But on the other side of the argument, the Blue Jackets also traded away Sergei Fedorov to the Capitals that same day, so perhaps it was their plan to rebuild all along. With the Blue Jackets finishing well out of a playoff spot that year, Foote would turn into enemy number one, especially when he returned to play against the Blue Jackets later on in his career. Adam Foote would play for another 3 seasons, and he would officially retire from professional hockey in 2011 after a remarkable 19-year NHL career. He left the game as one of the most respected defensemen of his era, known for his unwavering commitment to his team's success and his remarkable consistency as a shutdown defenseman. And due to the impact he's made on the Colorado Avalanche, his number 52 was retired by the team. Following his retirement, Foote remained closely involved in the hockey world. He transitioned into coaching, sharing his wealth of knowledge and experience with the next generation of players. He's currently the assistant coach for the Vancouver Canucks, and my goodness, as a Canucks fan, all I can say is, good luck, Adam. He's got his work cut out for him, but if there's anyone who can lead and get through to this group of defensemen, I'm putting my money on Adam Foote. Adam Foote's story is a testament to the power of dedication, perseverance, and the pursuit of excellence. From a young boy with a dream of playing in the NHL to a 2-time Stanley Cup champion and a respected leader on and off the ice, Foote's journey is an inspiration to all. His legacy lives on in the hearts of hockey fans, and his impact on the sport serves as a reminder that the values of hard work, teamwork, and the relentless pursuit of one's goals just simply cannot be understated. And it is with this in which we should all take a lesson from Adam Foote. He was never the one to ever light up the score sheet. His value transcended mere statistics, and the mark he left on the game of hockey is undeniable. He understood from a very young age that he didn't have the hands to be an offensive juggernaut. That was something he couldn't control, but what he could control was his work ethic and never say die attitude. That's what made him special, and that's what made him stand out amongst his peers. He was always going to give it his all, shift in, shift out, and I don't know about you, but that's a pretty good superpower to have. Thanks for watching. Bye.